Welcome to the Rest Factor podcast. On today's podcast, we have Amanda Nighbert. Amanda's a 47-year-old registered dietitian. With her lean program, she focuses on how to make weight loss and nutrition sustainable.
How many diets have you already tried? 20, 30, 40? And then there's this last stat, and that's the one that says 95% of dieters fail. There is no scientific data to back its truth. So I ask you, why are we so bad at creating sustainable health and wellness in the United States? My clients want to lose weight. They want to sleep better and have more energy.
It gave me my health back.
I've dropped like 28 pounds.
I've lost 57.2 pounds.
We discuss the important role that nutrition plays in sleep and how we can make small changes to our lifestyle for lasting change and how they play a role in weight loss. Stay tuned for more with Amanda Nighbert. Welcome to the Rest Factor podcast, everyone. My name is Ana Marie Schick. I am a certified health coach and the resident sleep expert at Sleep Me. On today's podcast, we have Amanda Nighbert. So, Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So I had no idea that lean, and I had been reading about it for a while, even before you and I got in touch. It's actually an acronym.
It is.
I figured it was just an awesome word that you chose for your 7-week online wellness program. So tell me what that stands for.
Lean actually stands for living, energized, and nourished. And at the end of the day, this is kind of my end goal for my clients. I mean, I feel like when we focus more on how we feel and how we fuel our body versus, the end results or, doing the work for what we see on the scale, we just see such better progress and maintenance in the long run. So
yeah, adherence. That's awesome. And how did you initially get into nutrition and how was that a field of interest for you?
Well, I grew up an athlete. I was a gymnast, in my younger days and was just really interested in fueling my body and, what it would take to elevate my performance. And I initially thought I wanted to be a physical therapist, and kind of did some shadowing and realized that what I thought a physical therapist was not actually what most physical therapists were doing. So kind of pivoted more to kind of the nutrition space and became a registered dietitian, which awesome. Is not a very well-ventured field, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And when do you consider that that you first realized that sleep, or specifically rest in general, was critical to sustainable fitness levels?
Too late for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
When we level up in life and look back.
We really do. Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life, 47, it is, I feel like it's been truly just the last decade in which I have really understood the full impact that sleep has on everyone's health and wellness, our performance goals, our weight loss goals, our health optimization goals. And I think that that's pretty much what we see with most people. I think that sleep is the most underrated lifestyle habit that people are not focused on that they should be in order to, see the best results. So It took me too long to realize that.
Yeah. Do you find that it's kind of a light bulb moment when you work with clients or people that are in the lean program, the role that sleep plays in weight loss?
It is hard for me to even now get people to realize the impact of sleep. It really takes probably the biggest eye-opener for me was reading Matt Walker's book. He is the sleep expert.
Why We Sleep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Read it, listen to it. But it really took reading that book for me to be like, oh my gosh, sleep is really powerful. And I think that it in my opinion, because I've worked with over 100,000, women in this space, it is the hardest thing for me to get across to them that, prioritizing your sleep will make a difference.
Can you break it down to them? Like it controls your appetite. It basically, when we're talking about your hunger hormones and your satiety hormones, the leptin and the ghrelin, does it click then? Like do you break it down that much for them to say, oh, okay, well, when I feel well rested, I actually make better food choices. When I feel well rested and I'm well hydrated and I'm working out and I'm doing all the things that I should be doing, the hunger is different. The cravings are different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the best thing that I can do to kind of, get it through them, that period when we sleep is so valuable for our overall health and wellness. It's so important for our overall hormones. It's so important for our muscle recovery. If you're crushing it in the gym, but you're getting poor sleep, you're going to reduce your ability to make progress. It's so important for, like you mentioned, our hunger levels. We know that if we have a night of crappy sleep, you're going to crave more sugar. You're going to crave more food. You're going to eat more. You're going to have to rely on more caffeine. You're going to be cranky. We know that sleep significantly impacts fat metabolism. A lot of people don't realize that, when we metabolize fat, we don't poop it out. We don't sweat it out. We actually breathe it out. Right. And the time in which we expel the most fat is during sleep, during that recovery. I always tell people, I'm like, don't you think it's weird that, if you weigh yourself right before bed, you weigh, a certain weight, and then you go lay in bed for the next 8 hours and do absolutely nothing, and you wake up 3 pounds lighter. Right. That is what is happening during that sleep cycle. It is so important in terms of, again, getting the results that you're looking for.
Right. And not only, and I found, in my background is in health and wellness, and I spent, 25, almost 30 years, training people. And so when you're bodybuilding and you're doing the training and you're working out, I learned decades later, the bodybuilding actually happens when you're sleeping. That's when the muscle and tissue are repairing, and that's when the building happens during the recovery phase. And so not only is it responsible, during the fat burning stage in the middle of the night, but also just in general, the recovery to be able to get up and do it all over again and sustain that over a long period of time, and for it to be just a lifestyle in general. So that's huge, being able to educate people on, not just because we're telling you should sleep 7 to 8 hours, but this is why, and think about how you feel, whether it's tracking through a tracking device or journaling, think about how you feel when you're at your best and what you're doing. As far as food specifically, or food groups in general, what eating times or behaviors do you find are more conducive to quality sleep, and vice versa? Which ones are least conducive to quality sleep?
Yeah, when it comes to nutrition, I mean, I think that there is a lot of science out there that says, we need to stop digestion a couple of hours before we head to bed. So one of the things that we talk about in the Lean program is just the benefit of wrapping everything up, 2 hours before sleep. There's actually a lot of intermittent fasting is a very trendy thing right now. We do some fasting in the Lean program, but we now know that actually fasting with the sun is probably the most beneficial way to implement fasting. Whereas as Americans with our lifestyle, we like to skip breakfast and eat late at night. So it's actually better to kind of wrap up your meal earlier in the evening and then have that time that your body has to, finish digestion so that you can prepare for sleep. In terms of kind of that last meal, I mean, I think that it's important to have balance. A lot of people do not sleep well when they restrict carbohydrates. Right. We need carbohydrates in some capacity to support healthy sleep. Do we need, a bowl of ice cream an hour before bed? No, that's probably going to wreck your sleep. Right, but incorporating, long-acting carbs, high-fiber carbs with your last meal, I think is very beneficial. Yeah. Protein optimization is is definitely important across the board.
Getting people to understand as well that not all carbs are created equal, not all fats are created equal. And so that and the quality of what you're getting will absolutely impact not only how you perform, but also how you rest, how well you rest.
Right. Yeah, blood sugar dysregulation is a huge reason why people struggle with sleep. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, a lot of times that is a blood sugar response. Yeah. And that could be due to your last meal. It could be due to just the reaction of your entire lifestyle. If you're eating a very high carb, low protein diet, but anything that's going to help manage your blood sugar is going to, in the long run, support better sleep hygiene.
And speaking of blood sugar regulation, that's an excellent segue. Talk to me a little bit about alcohol and sleep.
Yes, alcohol. Alcohol has such an impact on our overall health and wellness. And I usually say about 3 different ways. Number one, it obviously has a caloric impact. So, if you drink 3 or 4 cocktails, that's going to be an extra, 4, 5, 600 calories to your day. Yeah. It has a metabolic impact because alcohol does unfortunately slow down our metabolism. Alcohol is a toxin in the body. Therefore, the body has to prioritize the metabolism of alcohol over carbohydrates, fats, and sugars, and proteins, whenever we're consuming alcohol and food at the same time. So people will say you'll lose at least 4 to 6 hours of your metabolic rate after your last drink when you're consuming alcohol. That's why most people can't get away with 1 glass of wine every night, because it's having that kind of nightly impact on your metabolism. But number 3, the one that I don't think that people really understand, is that alcohol ruins your sleep. 100% of the time. Yeah. 1 ounce of alcohol close to bedtime ruins your sleep across the board. And I don't think that we had a good understanding of this until we started having all of these wearables. And we can see our sleep score absolutely tanking when we consume alcohol. So it's really hard to incorporate alcohol often in your diet and reach your health and wellness goals, because it's impacting you in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So knowing what you know now, what would you have told 20-year-old Amanda?
I would tell her to sleep. I mean, one of the things that, I have teenagers myself, and I literally take their phones out of their rooms, their computers, they're out of their rooms. I would have to unplug my son's HDMI cord from his PlayStation at 10 o'clock every night, and be like, boo, you got to go to sleep. Like, you need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I know you hate me, but it is so critical. Like, if I do nothing else for you, I have to instill the importance of sleep on you. And of course, they'll go to college and they'll stay up till 3 a.m. But I mean, that is the biggest message that I would, try to instill in myself, that, pulling all-nighters is not beneficial. The biggest thing I learned is you can never recapture sleep that you've lost. It is gone forever. We need to be going to bed about the same time and waking up every day about the same time. We need to, again, reduce distractions before bedtime, and, sleep in a super cold, super dark room. I mean, I will say, my life changed dramatically when I got my Chilipad, my Ulier. I literally take it wherever I go, whenever I can, because it's such a game changer.
Yeah. And so, speaking of gadgets, what tools do you use personally to become, at your, I call it my level in life. So at your level in life, what tools do you use? Be it software, gadgets, technology, meditation? What works for you?
Yeah, so I love my Oura Ring. I wear that to kind of track data in terms of my recovery and my sleep. It's been very eye-opening, to see how the things in which I do in my life impact those two main things. It's interesting to see, how illness impacts, how your body works and all of that. So Oura rings, I know, there's a lot of different devices out there, Apple Watches, Whoops, kind of things like that. Number two, I'm an OG. I've had a Chilipad. I don't even know what they're called now, but yes, I had the OG Chilipad. I probably got it again 10 years ago, and it has been just again the biggest game changer. The worst part about having a Chilipad, a sleep device, is sleeping in a hotel.
Traveling. I know. I knew you were going to say that. It's the same.
Because I know.
Stay tuned.
Oh, I cannot wait. Every time I go away, I dread it because it impacts my sleep so much. I also sleep with a weighted blanket. And great. I think that really helps, in terms of just improving my sleep. I had horrible, it took me a good 5 years to get my sleep habits improved. It's not something that changes overnight. I really try to encourage my clients to understand that it is hard to fix poor sleep habits. It's hard, to fix sleep challenges, but you just have to kind of keep working on it. Yeah. So, those are the big things that I use. Obviously, zero light in my room, a fan, kind of white noise helps. I need to reduce, screen time and distractions. I do use like blue light glasses in the evening to kind of help kind of shut me down. But those are the things that have worked the best for me so far.
And just out of curiosity, do you like getting into, a lot of down regulation and preparing ourselves for sleep at night is about sending your brain the signals that it needs for it to perceive that, it's time to settle down, bring it down and go to bed. Is your personal preference to get into a warm and cozy bed, or do you like to get into a cool, refreshing bed? Like, what's your personal preference?
Eskimo. I want to be in full sweatpants, sweatshirts. I have my device set to -20, and I want to be a cocoon. Okay. I want to be a cocoon in my cold bed, wrapped up. That's how I want.
That's awesome. And that's
I love how the new devices actually will, because I used to wake up literally like shivering in the morning. So it's so nice that the new devices will actually kind of,
schedule you up and go down and up.
They'll schedule a little warm up. So I don't wake up, chattering my teeth, but that's what I prefer.
And also what I've found in this level in my life is waking up, I need a little bit of warmth so I can get the joints kind of ready to get up. So that's been nice as well. So back to the nutrition part and sleep. What do you think are the 2 or 3 or maybe 4, I don't know, kind of low hanging fruit that people can do to improve their health and maybe their sleep, or maybe not? But just in general, what are a couple of things that people can say, oh, you know what, I can try that. That's where I can start.
Number one, I would start with blood sugar regulation. And just a couple of tips to improve your blood sugar response would be stop nibbling and grazing, stop snacking throughout the day, focus on 3 to 4 solid meals a day, aim for a good source of protein and high fiber foods at every meal, and incorporate carbohydrates in moderation. So movement is also really powerful for blood sugar regulation and improving your sleep. A lot of people don't tolerate movement right before bed. So when you schedule your movement, may impact how you sleep. So if you have the ability to adjust that, that would be something else that I would encourage you to do. Hydration is also really important to sleep. Yeah. I think as we get older, we have to be more aware of when we're hydrating. We can't wait till the end of the night to say, oh, I need 30 more ounces of fluid. We've got to kind of space that out, maybe front load our hydration a little bit more. A tip that I have for my clients that have issues with frequent urination throughout the night is you need a little bit more salt at night. That helps to prevent you from kind of getting up and using the restroom all night long. But dehydration will definitely impact your body's ability to get quality sleep. And in terms
Which is a hard one because we for decades have been telling people that salt is the devil. And then, again, like not all carbs are created equal. Not all salt is created equal. So educating yourself about the right electrolytes, the right salts, the right way to hydrate, definitely, I think has improved my hydration.
Yeah, we got to stop blaming salt for what sugar did, because really,
oh my gosh, that is brilliant.
Yeah. Salt's not the issue. That's a whole nother podcast we could have. But yeah, I mean, again, it does take a lot for, because when a dietitian is encouraging you to consume more sodium, people are like, what?
It's groundbreaking though. I mean, it's based in data and facts.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating. So one of the things that I love are your recipes and how accessible you make easy shopping, like your Costco hauls and your, so for those of you that don't know, you can find Amanda on Instagram at Amanda Nighbert. And then Amanda Nighbert RD, right?
That's
Instagram?
right. Yes.
Yeah. And I love just looking through and looking at your recipes and seeing how easy and accessible you make a healthy meal and how important food prepping is and kind of preparing for your day. When I work with people and speak with people about sleep, I tell them, we invest and we invest interest and we take interest in food prepping, in writing out a workout program and what you're going to do for your fitness regimen. But do you invest also in planning for sleep? Like when you get up in the morning, is that the end of what you did for sleep the day before? So, it starts with when you get up in the morning, what do you do? How you set up your day for success, not only so that you can control these cravings and what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, what you're doing with your body, your movement, all the choices that you make throughout the day that include, they don't just stop at when the lights go out, but they include when the lights go out, your mindset, your behaviors, your environment. So a lot of that has been really useful for me to kind of piece together how accessible you make meal prepping, food prepping, all the way down to shopping. Like you give people no excuses. You're like, people, if you can't do this, then I got nothing.
You're making it harder than it has to be, is my slogan.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the common thread of health and wellness right now, is that we have become a society that likes to focus on the blade of grass. And we want to really get in the weeds with the nitty gritty, when in reality, we need to take a step back and we need to look at the forest, because it is the foundational things that we are failing to do that are creating the state of our, current health. And when you focus on the blade of grass, it's when you make it harder than it has to be,
Right.
Step number one is just cook at home. Like that's the first step. Once you get the hang of that, then step number two is, okay, now let's cook healthy recipes at home, And then once you get the hang of that, then step number three, okay, now let's look at food quality. And, now let's think about the foods in which we're selecting to cook at home. You know,
it's crazy how it all boils back down to the way it used to be. It ain't the way it used to be. And so life has gotten so efficient and industrialization has brought us so much. Innovation, inventions have brought us so much, but at the expense of our health for sure. And, now we're having to kind of hack the hacks. Okay. This instant food is not good for us after all. This quick access, easy fast food turns out not good for us. So let's go back to basics and look at ingredients and where the ingredients are coming from and so forth. So, but this is fascinating. How can people learn more about you, Amanda Nighbert, or the Lean program?
Well, I'm everywhere. I'm on every social media. So whichever one you like, I'm probably there. YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Amanda Nighbert RD. You can also check out my website, amandanighbert.com. Yeah.
Is your lean program, is this kind of like a rolling entry, or do you have programs that start and stop?
It's a 7-week online program run through my free private app. So no social media required. It is a foundational program. So we really dive into the simple things that you need to be doing: increasing your step count, starting strength training, optimizing protein, understanding caloric deficits, blood sugar management, increasing your metabolism, prioritizing sleep, kind of all those things that you're probably overlooking. I think what sets lean apart from every other program out there is it is a very high touch program. So you're working with me. While it is a group-based program, we are working one-on-one. You have access to me through a texting feature in the app, 24/7. Every day you are checking in. I had a good day. I had a bad day. This is where I struggled. These are the resources I need. These are the barriers in my life. And then I'm giving you feedback. My team is giving you feedback to really help to determine, what are your roadblocks and what plan can we create to overcome them. And that's for 7 weeks. So it does come with thousands of recipes, 4 meal plans, 3 different workout programs. Literally, you can only fail if you choose to fail. Okay. We're going to do everything in our power to make you successful. So typically a new session of lean starts about every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I certainly hope our listeners will seek you out on one of your social media outlets, and as well as the Lean program. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, Amanda. I really appreciate the work that you've done with us, for us, and I wish you continued luck and success.
Thank you so much.
Information, inspiration, and opinions are my own and are not intended to be medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, medical treatment, or if you think you may have a sleep disorder. Conversations I have with subject matter experts are intended to continue our efforts to optimize your sleep for better health, more energy, and improved physical and cognitive performance.